Hot button.
I've heard you rant about Jeff Bezos numerous times.
Yeah, I think the last thing I said was, I wonder what his bald head looks like rolling away from a guillotine.
Did they buy the guillotine on Amazon?
Fuck.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Hot Button. I'm Randall Beachers, and I am here, as always, on this lovely cold-ass Sunday with Chris Anantuano.
It's not always a cold Sunday, you
No,
idiot.
It's cold Sunday today. It feels like... Fuck it. And our host for today, Austin Blakesley.
Yeah.
Now, originally I was going to have this whole opening that was just going to be a direct ripoff of an intro from a different podcast. But after working on it a bit, I just couldn't. I just couldn't get it. I just couldn't get it the way I wanted, and I was afraid the joke may have gotten lost on some people.
Yeah.
But because today we are going to talk about Filip Miucin, a now ex-IGN.com employee found guilty of journalism's most terrible crime, plagiarism. When last summer of 2018, the editor was caught blatantly stealing several parts of almost an entire script for the site's official video review of popular indie roguelike Metroidvania game Dead Cells, off of a lesser-known independent YouTube channel called Boomstick Gaming, in which a total fucking shitstorm ensued, once again bringing the topics of ethics and game coverage, as well as everybody's favorite response of death threats, back into the space once again.
Yeah.
So Austin, enlighten us with the story of one Mr. Miucin's dive into career self-destruction.
All right. I want to preface this by saying I used to follow IGN. I used to listen to their podcasts
Yeah,
and
same
stuff.
here. A lot of good people working
I
there.
remember when this guy got hired.
Yeah.
Not to play a hipster,
Oh,
but
no,
I never
yeah.
liked this guy.
I didn't either. I read about his backstory, and sorry, I know you'll dive deeper into this, but he took over as the head Nintendo editor at IGN after Jose Otero left, right?
Yes.
And did he go to EA?
No, he works at Nintendo, I think.
He works at Nintendo officially?
Yeah.
Okay, good for him. Because do you want to tell the story of how he got hired with about his YouTube channel or whatever?
I don't have that written down.
Okay, so it was the Switch giveaway thing.
Oh yeah, okay. I can talk about that.
Okay, yeah.
So he
Which that already made me angry.
He started a YouTube channel where he would review games but there was a very
he published very hastily a lot and would constantly take his own videos down and re-edit them.
Yeah.
It's kind of a red flag already.
Yeah, but he rose to prominence, I guess I'll say,
Yeah.
by...
Chris will love this.
He essentially got his hands on a bunch of Switches right before launch.
When they were really hard to get.
When they were hard to get, and said, like, hey, follow me on YouTube next week. I'll be picking out YouTube followers for this giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how he got his audience.
Yeah. His
And
channel blew up.
You can
because
look.
people
You
really
can look
wanted
at
to
it
go to
because people
Switch.
did watch his videos after that, but his subscriber numbers were always higher than his viewer numbers.
Yeah.
Because people
Yeah.
subscribed to it to win the Switch, didn't win the Switch, and then
Yeah.
forgot to unsubscribe.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Which that happens a lot of people.
Damn, so it blew up. That must be a good tactic.
Is that what
If
we're doing
you
wrong?
listen to Hot
Tune
Button,
in
you'll
next
win
week.
$10 million.
He actually had
Dollars.
he actually had the Switches.
Actually, I bet you $10 million is just as hard to deliver on.
I don't know where.
yeah, probably.
It's still cheaper though.
Yeah.
$1 a hair.
All right.
Anyway, keep talking about this. knob.
So this guy was like the YouTube Switch guy to the
Yeah.
point where like his YouTube logo is like his first name, which is Philip, but for those audio listeners, it is spelled Filip.
The F stands for.
Switch.
And it had like his logo was the word Philip with two Joy-Cons on the side.
Oh, I don't know if I saw that.
Yeah.
logo. It's probably tacky.
It's
his demeanor's very.
shitty. So anyway, yeah, he posted a bunch of Switch videos, and they got a decent amount of views to the point where
Yeah.
IGN took notice, and then IGN hired him as their Nintendo editor because
Yeah.
they thought he had a big following of Nintendo fans that he could bring over to IGN. Flash forward to July 24th, 2018, last summer.
This is when Dead Cells was out of early access as a.
No.
No? Okay.
So Boomstick Gaming released a video review of Dead Cells. And the thing about that is that Dead Cells did not come out of early access until when IGN posted their review.
Huh. Okay. Dead Cell's very beloved game, by
but-
the way.
Yeah.
Which is
But there
gonna
was a
help
lot
with
of
the
there was a
story of
lot
people
of
getting angry.
things that they were like, "Hey, we're going to release a patch with bug fixes, but nothing in the game is going to change." So I think
Okay.
that's why Boomstick released his review early.
Sure. And he's independent. He can do it whenever he wants,
Yeah,
really.
he's under no contract.
Yeah.
And he was a relatively small.
Yeah, he had a
following.
modest channel following, I
9,000
think.
subscribers, I think.
Yeah, I think the video had like 1,200 views.
Yeah, something like that.
yeah,
I think he
around
had
the
like
time they were.
9,000 subscribers. The video had 1,200
More than
views.
us. It's fine. he's doing it.
But he was doing all right. Flash forward about a week, 2 weeks, August 6th, 2018. Like I said, Dead Cells is now coming out of early access. IGN releases a written and video review of Dead Cells.
Gets a 9.5.
Yeah,
It's a high score.
a great game.
Totally. I just mean, like, what's interesting about this is that he gave that game a 9.5. You'd think that kind of review would be the easiest to write. If you're, like,
I love
gushing.
it.
Yeah, like, that's...
Yeah.
But
Right.
Also, I mean, IGN. I mean, what else have they given 9.5s to? I mean, that's why I stopped following them forever
Why?
ago.
They're not that liberal with high scores.
I don't know. It just seems like they're always
Maybe.
like
They- I
blowing
mean-
some horrible game franchise with a huge publisher.
Well, here's the thing, though. But, wait, what?
I thought they were notorious for like high scoring like shitty Call of Duties and things like
No.
that.
No.
Oh, okay.
Way to believe the false narrative out
Yeah,
there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, well,
kids
inform
still
me.
ignorant without IGN. You hopping on that crowd? Because the thing about big gaming outlets like IGN and GameSpot and Game Informer is that they're all still teams of individuals. So it's like you have to find like the reviewer that I would say matches up with you the
Yeah,
most.
Okay,
the
fair
thing
enough.
a lot of
just,
people
like, a
don't
big-
know is that like if you're at IGN and they have like a review team of maybe like I don't know 10, 15 people,
Yeah.
and a Call of Duty is coming out, you don't want to give the Call of Duty review to somebody who hates Call of Duty.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
You want to give it to somebody who enjoys playing Call of Duty, which is
And
why
they're decent
Call of
games,
Duty
like, yeah,
games get
it's-
good reviews
Okay,
because they give
fair
it to
enough.
their editor that still likes playing Call of
Yeah.
Duty.
Granted, IGN still fucks up a lot of shit, but I'll defend them at least on.
I mean,
on
they're
this front.
they're critics. It's their opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
they do. I think they get
Well,
more flack
I'm
than
a
they
bit
deserve.
biased. I
They
see
do.
big critics giving high scores to games that come from big publishers, and
Traditionally,
collusion comes first.
Sure, but I mean, traditionally, it's like games from large. I mean, indie darlings is now a phrase thrown around a lot too. But it's more like if big publishers also have the money to invest in making a game functional to a point that, like, like
Fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything's subjective, obviously, but games are kind of an odd thing
But-
because it's like it's more about acknowledging the
this will
technology.
be the first divided odd one. The IGN does have a reputation for giving reviews.
Hey, I certainly don't
they're one
agree
of
with all
the
their
main-
reviews,
They're
but-
one of the main outlets that led to the Gamergate shit, ethics in games journalism shit like that.
Yeah.
And that'll come up later because there is a Gamergate subreddit that I had to unfortunately click on to get some information.
Fuck.
But okay, so
Yeah.
August 6th, Dead Cells is about to come out. IGN releases their review. That was in
wasn't
the
that-
morning.
This is the first review he ever did solo, right, or something?
Yes,
He
this
he
is-
put out a statement being like, "I'm real proud of my
Yeah.
first like." Yeah.
Yeah, he put one on Twitter and was like, "Here's my first review. I edited it myself. I'm
Right.
real
That's
proud."
what it was. Yeah.
Later that night,
Easy fodder.
Boomstick Gaming publishes a video entitled "IGN copied my Dead Cells review. What do I do?"
Yeah.
Now, this video is obviously still up because Boomstick Gaming has no reason to take it down. I watched it. If you want to know more about just how blatant a ripoff this was,
Yeah.
you can go watch that whole video.
It gets juicier as it goes along.
I'm going to give you one example here. Okay, so here's two quotes. The first one will be from Boomstick Gaming's review of Dead Cells. The second one is going to be from Filip Miucin's IGN review of Dead Cells. So, Boomstick Gaming. Dead Cells only falters slightly with some repetition setting in, especially on the early areas and during longer play sessions. Filip Miucin. Dead Cells does falter slightly with some repetition, but it's only felt in its earlier areas and during extended play sessions.
Very
Whoa.
easy switching of a
So
couple
he took
words
out the
around.
one word he couldn't spell.
It's very much like I plagiarized in like middle school when I didn't want to do assignments on dumb
Yeah.
horseshit that I didn't care about, and that is exactly how you do it. They're like, what can I rearrange enough so that
Yeah.
a program won't find out this? It's so fucking like. That takes an amount of work too, like to
Yeah.
almost like steal.
It's
it
almost
and-
harder than
Yeah.
just writing your opinions down.
I do remember when this news first dropped too, that me and you had the discussion of around like, well, like maybe a lot of people at IGN are so overwhelmed with reviewing so many games,
Yeah,
like it's
that was
like
a big narrative.
yeah, because it's because what's interesting is that people looked into it, and he did indeed play through that whole game.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if they went through like his trophies or achievements or whatever. But
He did it on Switch. So
he did it on Switch?
Playtime, I guess.
Okay, playtime. But I remember people being like, "Oh, he didn't play the game at all." And it's like he did play the game, and it's like, then what the fuck was he doing? But yeah,
And
sorry,
again-
I didn't mean to jump the gun here, but
And again, I will reiterate that is one example. The reason
There
I'm
are
only
more,
giving one
yeah.
example is because this podcast would be an hour if I listed every single line he copied from somebody else.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But yeah, this story, obviously somebody who was a fan
Yeah.
of Boomstick Gaming posted his video to Reddit.
also nothing against Boomstick Gaming here. I always support people doing their own thing this way, but this also wasn't exactly the most creatively worded review either. It's
Yeah.
very dry.
Yeah.
Like, it's almost like a reading the back of the box kind of thing. I know there
Yeah.
was concern at the time that they thought that both reviews came from, like, maybe they both just wrote a press release stuff down.
Yeah, maybe they both got a press release and copied lines.
Yeah,
from that, but
that
I
later
don't-
wasn't
that is
true.
Not the end.
No.
But so somebody posted Boomstick's review to Reddit, and the public opinion on IGN did not help.
No.
A lot of Reddit does not like IGN. They
No.
think the same things. So they took it and they ran with
The
it.
war on
And
that,
they
yeah.
basically said, like, IGN's copying all their reviews. These people aren't ethical, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Like I said, there is a Reddit. Please do not click on it if you are listening to this. Named reddit.com/r/Kotaku in action, which is a
no.
Gamergate subreddit. I went to it. Please do not go to it. But they ran with it even more, obviously, because
Yeah.
they hate all games journalists. But yeah, it did not take long for this to spread in the age of social media. It went from Reddit to then
Yeah.
people posting it on Facebook and Twitter, and IGN got wind of it on Twitter.
Wait, real quick, I'm just curious here, and I'm not sure if you know. Did the creator of Dead Cells ever come out and make a statement
Yes.
of any kind?
No, they didn't make a statement.
Okay.
But they, and I don't have
There was
it.
a rumor at some point that some people, maybe loyal to Miucin, even came after him for. I don't know. Which would be truly insane.
So
I
the
don't know if
developers
that's
of
ever
Dead
true.
Cells is a game company called Twinmotion.
Right. Yeah.
And they commented on the IGN Twitter post where their review came out and said, "Hey, thanks for the 9.5. We're glad you liked the game."
Oh, right. That's why people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, people were like
You
attacking
knew,
Twinmotion
yeah.
and being
Oh my
like,
God.
"Did you know that he plagiarized it?" And Twinmotion, I think they didn't release like an official statement, but whoever's in control of the Twitter account was like, "We didn't know this was stolen. We are just happy that our game was being perceived well. We are
Yeah.
sorry."
Yeah, which is
Like,
fair
How
for
the
them
fuck
to
would
say.
they know? Yeah.
But it's like, this guy deserves all the hate that he gets.
Yeah.
IGN, we will learn, handled this pretty well. They don't. But people attacked swiftly and without
Yes.
prejudice. Like,
IGN did handle
Wait,
the whole
from
situation.
Reddit?
Yeah. They handled it very well and very quickly.
Yes.
Like, they responded to that
So-
fast. Because it wasn't
Yes.
fair to the other employees, obviously. Like,
So we're talking like Boomstick Gaming posts this review at nighttime when I'm assuming the IGN offices, all the people have gone home for the
Yeah.
day. This spreads throughout the night. IGN gets into...
did it get removed from Metacritic? Would they do that?
They re-reviewed it.
They did, but I just
Yeah.
didn't know if the score got taken off temporarily.
Then their news score got changed.
What was the score the same?
I believe so.
Okay.
But
Sorry, continue. That was just interesting.
But anyway, IGN got wind of this when I'm assuming they came into the office the next day and they saw the shitstorm. Their Dead Cells review was immediately removed, in place with a statement that said, "As a group of writers and creators who value our own work and the work of others in our field, the editorial staff of IGN takes plagiarism very seriously. In light of the concerns that have been raised about our Dead Cells review, we removed it for the time being and are beginning an investigation."
Woo.
So that was August 7th. Later on that day, August 7th, 2018, which I believe was the release date of Dead Cells. It's a shame that this was the talk of
Oh,
the town
yeah.
when Dead Cells came out,
Yeah.
because that really is a fantastic game. IGN released both a written statement and a video. I'm going to play the video, and then I'm going to read the written statement, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
So here is IGN's video statement on the topic.
We here at IGN dedicate our day-to-day to delving into the fun and wonder of games and entertainment of all types so that we can share our excitement for them right alongside you. That said, we take what we do very seriously. Our editorial integrity is of the utmost importance to not only ourselves, but our audience. After allegations were brought against an IGN staff member for his review of Dead Cells, we conducted an investigation of this editor's process, ultimately leading to taking down the review in question and parting ways with this writer yesterday. We will work tirelessly to ensure that regardless of whether or not you agree with our reviews, you can have faith that every word is nothing less than the genuine opinion of our critics. We sincerely apologize to our readers, Motion Twin, and most especially the YouTuber known as Boomstick Gaming, for failing to uphold these standards. Nothing is more important to us than your trust. We will be re-reviewing Dead Cells this week, though, spoilers, much of our staff is already in love with the game. We hope you will check it out. Thanks for sticking with us.
It was a good statement, and they credited Boomstick Gaming as well.
Yes.
It's funny because like the blame was not on them because it would be nearly impossible to search for and prevent this kind of thing, especially for video.
Yes, that was a lot of the public sentiment on the thing. Was like, I can't believe IGN would hire this guy when
that
he
is.
did
They
this.
can, however, be more selective in their hiring.
They can be more selective in their hiring. I vehemently disagree with hiring him, as I did at the time before I knew all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But there's no way for them to go through every YouTube review of every game and
what the fuck?
They're a giant fucking
and they're
company,
always
you know what
moving
I mean?
forward.
We'll find this
exactly.
out, but every instance of his copying was from a lesser site.
Of course.
And
That's
sites
usually it's the opposite, where but because that's the funny thing is, it's like, how did they expect the guy from Boomstick to not find this, considering it's like the thing he's doing? Like, of course he would be aware of
it's a
IGN.
matter of they were smaller. They
couldn't do anything.
He thinks
about
he has the power. He thinks he has behind him the power of a
That's why I think
major
it's
journalism
more
thing.
malicious than
And he thinks that he can get away with it because I'm just taking from smaller people. Nobody will ever pay attention to them. They're gonna look for IGN's review
but
before
it's
they
so
would
funny.
ever
Like,
look for
if
something
you were
else.
making your own video reviews of video games, you would probably be watching tons of those videos as just like not even reference, but just because you're interested in the medium.
Yeah,
And it wouldn't
exactly.
take long. You'd be like, "Hey, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
But it's funny because now at this point, did IGN not to jump forward, but was this before they looked back at his old content as well?
No.
Okay, I'm sure you'll get to that because this had to cost them money to deal with this problem.
There was also a written statement released on Twitter, which is almost word for word what IGN's Brian Altano, who was talking in that video, had read.
Yeah.
But there's an interesting side piece of information, which is that Per Schneider, who I don't believe is the editor-in-chief of IGN. I don't know his exact role. I have editor-in-chief written here, but I don't know if he's editor-in-chief. But he mentioned, a lot of people mentioned the internet attacked him too, and basically said like, hey, you should hire Boomstick now. And like a lot of people were like, well, he's doing his own thing.
I don't even know if that's what he wanted.
Yeah, do you know if he even wants to work for IGN? Like,
Yeah.
you're talking for him, and everybody's like, you guys just did this to make money off of a lesser-known YouTuber.
Yeah.
So Per Schneider announced that they had reached out to Boomstick
For
Gaming,
compensation, right?
And they were
Yeah.
they were working with him to an agreement of shared ad revenue on the Dead Cells.
That's already more than they had to do.
So basically,
Yeah.
any ad money that they made off of that review, they said was going to go to to Boomstick.
And that's what I'm saying. This guy is costing IGN money. Like,
Yes.
Not only that, but if they've got to redo the review and,
Yes.
and all that stuff too. Yeah.
They have to like figure out how much money they made off of the ads on that thing. And
that's
Okay.
complicated.
So this thing spread around the internet, obviously.
Death threats are out.
And one website that we bring up a lot, because as much as the Gamergaters might hate them, they have a lot of really good journalists for them, working for them. One who will come to play a very important role in this.
I think he's also played a role in some previous episodes as well.
His name's Jason Schreier.
Yeah, he's the best at what he does.
Yeah. Jason Schreier wrote an article for Kotaku about the IGN plagiarism thing. Interestingly enough, Jason Schreier received a tip that there was a review of FIFA 18 for the Switch.
Yeah.
Posted to the website Nintendo Life that shared a lot of similarities with a review of the game, posted to Philip's own YouTube channel before he began working at IGN. This was back in 2017.
Right, yeah. Was there a quote from the guy from Boomstick Gaming yet? Apparently he was cool. Like, he told people to leave Philip alone in terms of the heavier threats, and he thanked IGN and stuff like that. But it's funny that people were still angry. But
yeah, he handled
but
it.
we're not even at the best parts of this.
He handled it really well too.
Yeah.
He kind of just said like, "Hey guys, I'm talking to IGN. They're being really cool about this. Leave them out of it.
Yeah.
The situation's been resolved as far as I'm concerned. And if anything, I don't think Boomstick had a reason to be angry because this shined a spotlight on his little YouTube channel.
Yeah.
And He gained a lot of support from
He
people
did,
who
yeah.
saw his Dead Cells review and liked it, and a lot of support from people who hated IGN so much that they followed him.
Yeah, it's kind of the best case scenario for the
Yeah.
guy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Also, I know that like there were also quotes by other people still working in games writing out there. There's a great segment on, you mentioned before about talking about other podcasts, but I think it's the Giant Beastcast where Dan Reichert from Giant Bomb and Game Informer, he said something along the lines of like there already being so few available positions out there to be doing something
Yes.
like this full time.
So I wanted to play that clip because Dan sums it up so well.
Oh yeah. Okay,
but
sorry.
that felt a little disingenuous to play a clip of someone else's podcast in a podcast
I
about
see where you're getting
plagiarism. But yes, if you can find the clip of the Beastcast on this review, then definitely listen in because that's probably the best take from somebody in the industry on like how stupid this guy is. Essentially.
and you can hear the absolute
angry.
disdain. Yeah,
Yes.
because they talk about how hard people work legitimately and respectfully to make this their dream, and this guy really just shits all over it. Like because it's such a sought after opportunity. Like and they talk about how like those roles are just diminishing more and more every day because most gaming review work now is contracted, and gaming magazines are gone, and more sites are being shut down.
Yeah.
So it's just like this guy weaseled his way into this position and like really squandered
took
it.
advantage of it.
Yeah.
You had a chance
Yeah.
to be a good fucking journalist in a medium that's kind of awesome to be a journalist in.
Yeah, exactly.
what I mean?
Totally.
Arguably the best research
And the
of any journalism
who
field,
are
you know?
in that, like, it can be a stressful job, but the people who are in it genuinely love it. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that's what makes this that much worse. But like,
Yeah.
I think in the same quote they also talk about someone else on the podcast talks about how sometimes there's really only so many phrases and adjectives that you can use to specifically describe something.
Fair enough.
But then, like, the more and more they dove into it, and before all this new stuff came out, you're like, oh no, it's just stealing. Like,
Okay.
like it's
So we're about to get into all of this.
okay.
So,
Sorry, I'm excited. I don't mean
yeah. So Kotaku, Jason Schreier from Kotaku does some research, finds like, okay, this is getting a little fishy.
Yeah.
Filip Miucin had the old excuse in his pocket that like, hey, it's a coincidence, but this FIFA review
Yeah.
is like even more blatant.
It is. That was the funny thing. A lot of the follow-up examples that came out after this, because remember, as this was ongoing, when me and you were hanging out, it was like every time a new one came out, it was like less and less. Like eventually, there just weren't any words that were switched out for other words or any
Yeah.
rearranging of the structures of sentences.
right.
It was just the same fucking
So
thing.
I will keep in mind to everybody that we are now 3 days into this thing.
Yeah.
And shit is hitting the fan, but shit did not really hit the fan until
the best
3
part.
days later, August 10th, 2018. Filip Miucin, now ex-IGN employee, back on his own YouTube channel, posts in, and for those of you
Yeah, the
listening,
biggest air quotes possible.
biggest air quotes, apology video to his own YouTube channel. I'm going to go through some highlights, and then for the most egregious part, I'm just going to let him take over and
There's
play
some
the
bad
clip.
apology videos out there, but this is
Okay.
This is
He
up
starts
there.
out, he takes responsibility for the Dead Cells situation, but he says that it was unintentional.
It's fucking confusing.
He's like, I was the editor in charge, so I take full responsibility, but this was like an accident. He says
he
that-
doesn't even apologize in his
No.
apology video.
He says that there are a lot of great people working at IGN. Please do not attack them, which
Sure.
you're right, but
it's the one good thing.
shouldn't be coming from you.
Yeah.
He apologizes to Motion Twin, developers of Dead Cells, says that their game is great, which again, he's right. It's a
Yeah.
great game, but
You know who he doesn't apologize to?
and then he apologizes to Boomstick Gaming. And the worst part, I think, of all of this, which is going to be right before the clip I play, is that he tries to relate to Boomstick.
Right.
Which
Yeah. He's like, I was just like you.
He was like, yeah, I came from nothing too, man. I was just like you once. You're doing your own thing. It seems
Good for
great.
you, man.
But
Pat
he
on the
doesn't.
head.
He doesn't say like, I'm really sorry that I stole your stuff. He's
No,
just
he
like,
doesn't even say that he
"It
followed
was-
his
He was
content."
like, it was an accident, and I've watched some of your content, and like,
Oh, did
it
he?
seems
Okay.
like you're doing a great job, man. Keep it going.
Fucking.
But then,
Yeah.
then we
Hefty
come
eye
to
roll.
we come to the claim that was a one and done thing. It was an accident, but that if you go back into his
He challenged people.
so this was right when the FIFA 18 thing was coming out, and he talks about how all of the work on his own YouTube channel is his own. Those are all his opinions. So let me play.
He's like, yeah, okay, all right, yeah, do
Let
it.
me play his clip. This is a clip from Filip Miucin on the whole Jason Schreier discovering the FIFA 18 thing.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I was lucky enough to get noticed on IGN through my YouTube channel, which if in case you're wondering, is in fact all of my own original work. So you can keep looking, Kotaku, and please let me know if you find anything. Which, by the way, their news editor, Jason Schreier, tried to imply that my FIFA 18 review was also inauthentic by claiming that I copied it from Nintendo Life, and that's just so not the case. I mean, maybe he was implying that if you have similarly opinionated reviews, then you're just plagiarizing, or maybe he's just trying to get as many clicks off of my name right now as possible.
Wow.
Or maybe he just likes kicking people when they're down. I don't know. I mean, check it out for yourselves, and you be the judge.
Okay.
Jason Schreier, by the way, he's like the games reporter of the generation who's
Yeah.
built an entire
I know.
career out of reporting things accurately and
So
professionally.
What's the goal of this guy to challenge,
So-
first of all?
To
I challenge you, highly trained journalists, to journalize.
Yeah. But also, like, he's like, go ahead, prove me wrong. And it was just like,
Okay.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
so easy.
I mean, and Jason Schreier just kind of like came out and was like, this guy wants me to prove him wrong. I'll prove him wrong.
Yeah.
Like, we already proved the FIFA thing. Like, he's
Yeah.
lying about that.
Yeah, I don't know when
But
this
if he
was
wants us to
recorded.
find other stuff, we'll do it.
I think he also said in that review somewhere that he was like, no, everybody in
Yeah.
games writing does this, and like, and all these people are just like, no, we don't communicate with each other regarding scores and reviews like prior to publishing them. That's like a very specific thing that we don't
talk
do.
about like
Yeah.
if two people are reviewing a game
You're
and
like,
they're
"This is
both into
cool,"
it or not
yeah.
into it, they'll talk about it, but they're not going to steal.
Yo,
those
what'd you
opinions.
give it? Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it too.
Yeah. And okay, so one thing. This is the one thing that I'm going to give to this asshole
Yeah, yeah.
in this entire podcast. He talked about how he basically said, it's okay for you to attack me. I understand the anger. Please stop attacking my family. Which is the one thing I will give him.
Yeah.
People are
That's
trying
fair.
to go
Yeah,
after his
this
family.
guy. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
That's the
Obviously,
one.
the internet's going to take it too far.
Yeah, the internet took it too far when they really didn't need to, but also fuck this guy. And then my last point,
Oh, yeah.
and this gets to that clip I just played is a mirror of
Yeah.
of the original video. And the reason that it is a mirror
Spinning around.
is because that video is no longer up.
No.
A day later, he removed the apology video from his channel. However, he monetized the video. If you watched it like I did when he posted
Yeah, I
it,
did
you got
too.
an ad.
Fucking.
So a lot of people were also very angry at
Yeah.
him because he took this gaming controversy that he fucking caused and
That a
used
lot of
it-
people are interested in now.
yeah, and everybody's like, I'm gonna watch this fucking video to see what a fucking asshole. This looks like a very Trump philosophy.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's just like, this fucking asshole, let's see what he has to say for himself. And obviously everybody's not happy and they're angry at him.
Doesn't matter. You watched the video.
But
yeah,
you watched the
clicked
video,
on
you
it.
gave him money.
And he
'cause
was,
there
and
were
this was
ads
his
on it.
own video because he was fucking fired at this point,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
he
like,
had been fired 3 days prior.
yeah. So like, they didn't waste any time, but neither did he.
So he got his money. It's often said that the first 24 hours of a YouTube video are where most of the ad revenue comes
Of course, I don't know how
So
many
then-
views that video had.
I don't
It was
know.
probably a lot.
from. It's hard to find.
Yeah.
But he then said, "Okay, you're right," and removed it after he had made his money and
Of
got
course.
out.
Yeah, yeah.
But regardless of this, the internet took his challenge and
Yeah.
and they got to work.
Also, IGN in the meantime, I think do they have another review up by this point?
Yes.
Yeah, I know Brandon Tyrell. I think,
Brandon
took-
Tyrell
he took
of
over
IGN
it.
reviewed it. Brandon gave the game
What a scary review to have to write.
A95.
A95. Okay. Yeah. So it stayed the same.
And if IGN would let me scroll, oh my fucking auto-playing video piece of shit. What a dumb fucking website.
Yeah. See,
Okay.
we don't love IGN that much.
Yeah, their website.
Their website is
trash.
awful.
But
Navigated.
okay, so it says at the bottom, editor's note, on August 6th, IGN published a Dead Cells review that was found to have unacceptable similarities to another author's work and was immediately retracted. We apologize again. Here's our full statement, link to the statement.
Yeah.
This new review was written by a different critic and meets our editorial standards. Note that this review and its score represents solely the opinion of the new reviewer based on his experiences with Dead Cells.
There it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that review was posted on August 10th, the same day he posted his
There it is.
apology video.
Yeah. Ha.
So,
Man, that guy worked fast. He had to get
yeah,
in.
I think he already played the game. He just had to write the review.
Right, yeah,
Everybody
yeah.
was playing it.
That's true.
This is a great game. Okay, so August 11th, he removes the apology video from his channel. Now, I
love this list.
I'm going to break away from the timeline format here because finding the timeline
For
at
all of
which
these?
all of these discoveries were made
Yeah.
is impossible, especially with a lot of shit being taken down.
Yeah.
And all of this stuff, him deleting his own videos.
One of them's from his own fucking coworker.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
Jesus.
So, I'm sure you guys know the forum NeoGAF. Gotten a lot of hot water, was taken down from the internet. There's a new forum called Recetera.
Yeah.
There was a Recetera thread about the IGN plagiarism scandal called IGN to scrub Filip Miucin from the site almost completely after even more plagiarism surfaces.
Yeah. They were even looking back at getting people to review old stuff again.
So
I'm sure it was a nightmare.
before that, actually, I'm going to go ahead in my timeline a little bit. We have Dan Stapleton of IGN, who is, I believe, the head of the reviews team.
Okay.
So basically, the internet got to work. They found a lot of things. People just kept tweeting examples at him because he was the reviews editor.
Oh, it was great.
I'm pretty sure he
be on
was.
Twitter for those few
I'm
days.
pretty sure he was the head of this investigation.
Okay.
So
he had help though. People were-
so people are linking him to this Recetera thread, giving him examples.
Yeah.
And he says, thanks for the heads up. I'm putting it in to what we're investigating. We've been looking at his other content pieces for examples. This is probably the first that's been found on the site. Somebody links him to another one. He says, I've pulled the preview. We're still looking at the review. One sentence quoted, blah, blah, blah. I'll get to all of the examples in a minute. Somebody sends him another one. He says, we're looking into this. Then he tweets back and says, FYI, I've seen enough. Both from the thread that you gave me and our own searches that we did, we're taking down everything he did. It's a process, but you'll start seeing stuff come down tonight.
Yeah.
And then we have another editor named Justin Davis, who is, I believe, the head of editorial. So he's the head of the, not the reviews team, but like the previews and opinion piece of stuff. He says, deeply disappointed and upset that it was looking more and more likely that we were unwittingly hosting work that was directly lifted from or at best heavily derived from others. I assure you we are taking a very active step to remove it all and make it right. I feel betrayed. To those asking, all of the author's scripted byline content is being proactively removed right now, regardless of whether it was found to have an issue or not. Some of it may be restored later by others. Some important coverage may be redone by other writers, but all of it will remain offline.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're going to go back a little bit and we're going to get into this Recetera thread list of all of the shit that he did. Okay, so
Lay it on me.
we obviously talked about the Dead Cells review. That's the main sticking point. We obviously talked about the FIFA 2018 review that he copied from Nintendo Life, as he said in that video. It was found that he reviewed Bayonetta 2, and that review was stolen from Polygon's review. That Metroid 3DS game, what's it called? Metroid Samus Returns?
Yeah.
Okay. A review for that game was lifted from Engadget.
He's working his way around. And these aren't small, like...
No, I was about to say, the first you mentioned Polygon. I'm like,
yeah,
we gonna fucking...
Yeah, they're pretty big.
This is the best one, and Randy's mentioned this before. An op-ed piece he wrote on how good Octopath Traveler was both copied from Polygon's review of Octopath Traveler and IGN's review. He stole from his own site's review.
Oh my god.
For an op-ed, which is an optional editorial piece.
That's the thing I thought was most amazing. The fuck?
He's like, I like this game so much, I'm going to do an op-ed because I have the power to do that. And then he
Jeez.
stole all of it.
Oh my god.
He made a preview of Fire Emblem Warriors, which was copied from E3 impressions on NintendoWire.com. I'm going to skip that next one because that's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And then we have a long list of when he was even doing this when he was like under pressure at E3, which I guess makes more sense. But his E3 impressions on Fire Emblem Warriors were taken from a website called Goomba Stomp.
So many different ones.
His E3 impressions for Pokemon Tournament DX, or Pokken Tournament DX, sorry, was taken from a website called The Iris.
Terrible game.
His E3 impressions of Mario vs. Rabbids was also taken from Nintendo Wire. His Super Mario Odyssey preview was copied from a Sydney newspaper.
Great game. That's a fucking weird.
And his Sonic Mania impressions were an amalgamation of stealing, copied from both Nintendo Life
Again.
and True Achievements.
How did he get
going so far out of your way
Sydney
to
News?
steal?
Like, yeah, did he just like did something like blow into his face, and he was just like, "Oh, I could use this." Like,
And then we're gonna get into the most egregious example, which is he made a video for his YouTube channel which was
These are pretty blatant,
a
man.
technical explanation of how the Switch's HD rumble works. You know how the Switch has that thing where it like vibrates in certain spots? He got into a technical explanation of that, exactly how it works, which once this all surfaced, a lot of people were like, this guy seems like an idiot. I don't know how he has the technical know-how to explain. The entirety of his explanation was copied from a NeoGAF thread.
Where I'm sure the person who wrote it actually knew what they were talking about.
Which was like
I actually have heard about this.
Which is an engineer basically explaining how that works, because that rumble thing is not new. It's in like Android phones, some Android phones and stuff like that, like haptic feedback. There's basically some engineer explaining how it works when the thing was first announced. And then he releases this video like a while later that's like, here's how it works. And then
bulletproof.
This
is the best fucking. This is the greatest fucking ending to the story.
The fucking.
Oh my god.
The fucking pinnacle of fucking stealing. His LinkedIn, the bullet points on his LinkedIn for the IGN job he was now fired from for stealing were all taken from an example resume site.
Oh, you fucking joking?
Yeah, literally he built an entire career out of taking other people's work and convinced himself that this is what everyone does.
And then
amazing.
He must thought that like, I wonder if he has a college degree.
Oh man, probably.
Let's look into that. Let's see if we can find like if
Get him
all his
just
college
credited,
work
yeah.
was fucking like. You joking?
Oh my god, it's so good. That's
and then
so good.
This one is not as damning because it was not him stealing anyone's work necessarily, but this is the best quote ever.
This is a good,
Somebody
this
went
is from 2014.
Somebody went back into his Twitter account and found a post from 2014 from I think before he even started his YouTube channel that says, if you steal from one author, it's plagiarism. If you steal from many, it's research. Wilson Meisner, which is a famous quote.
Yeah.
But
I understand what he's getting at with that. Like we do research on here. I try and make it explicit when I'm like reading from an article or quoting somebody else or referencing the Wikipedia for something, but like when we give our own opinions and ideas, those aren't
because it comes out of your head at the moment, not like you copied it from another fucking
website. Does this guy have an original
website?
thought on anything? Like, because here's the thing. Like, it's like if
Hold on, let me Google original thoughts and I'll get back to you.
like if I loved a game so fucking much that I wanted to like let people know how great it was and to buy it, why would you want to like steal that? Like, it's fun to just go off on how much you love something.
Hypothetical thought scenario. It's like me and you obviously play a lot of games. We talk about a lot of games that we've played. I have in the past heard quotes from websites
something
and been
sound
like,
good subconsciously
that puts
can come out.
my thoughts into a like. Obviously, I'm not a writer. They are.
Yeah,
I was
like,
like,
this
that
summarizes
summarizes my
this,
thoughts better than I ever could in words.
Yeah.
So maybe I will paraphrase that when talking to you.
Yeah.
But if I was talking about it on here or writing my own review for like a blog or something,
say it's yours. That's a terrible thing to do.
I might include it, but I would quote and link to it.
Right. Yeah. We have
Or I would
citations
talk about
for
it,
stuff
yeah.
for sure. Because I understand because he meant the research thing is the thing that irks me because it's just like obviously this is a different format, but it's just like you're listening to us to get information in a conversational form. Like, it's
exactly.
Like this because the thing is like if you were to do your own research, you could find all of this information out there on your own. Like we are compiling it and condensing it into a coherent story and narrative for
Of
like
course,
so
yeah.
that's fun. Like
that,
but it's
that quote is famous for a reason because the point, as I understand it, and feel free to message me on Twitter and correct me if I'm wrong, but as I understand it, that quote means you can't steal from one person, but you can absorb the artists around you and take inspiration.
Yeah, and then
that's
that's the
what
reason,
the research thing
Totally.
means.
research is. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like
I was only reviewing it in the context that he fucking put that out, but yeah.
Also, there's so many memes in the comments.
I bet.
So, yeah, and I think at this point, people stopped trying to prove this guy wrong and just started shitting on him.
Yeah.
And with good reason.
Yeah, with good reason. I also like quoting when other people have something super elegant to say. Like it's like very like I like being like, yeah, this person said this, and I like super agree with that. Like or I super don't agree with it. Like,
Yeah.
it's so fucking.
But that's kind of where the research stops. I'm sure if people were still looking, they could probably find other examples.
I bet, yeah.
But I feel like they worked like lawyers. They're like, we've gathered enough evidence.
Yeah.
And this guy removed his apology video, and then he kind of disappeared. He stopped tweeting.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hopefully the consequence from this means that he's not able to build anything else after this, but that's not true. I am guessing.
So this,
he had that following that got him hired to begin with.
This
fucking giveaways.
This all happened by, again, hard to find a timeline, but the IGN removal of all of his content happened on August 14th, 2018.
You'd think that blackball the shit out of you.
I think at that point the internet was like, we've presented enough. This guy's buried. We've presented enough information. They stopped looking. This guy took the coward's way out. He disappeared, and then randomly he popped back up on October 18th, 2018.
Well, hold on for a second. I just want to give a shout out. You say they're all found this information to bury him. Shout out to the guy who found the LinkedIn connection.
Oh yeah, that's the funny.
God.
Yeah, what a hero.
He must have been laughing at his computer that night.
Okay, so this is a review he posted for a Bluetooth audio adapter for the Switch.
Did somebody contract him to do this, or is this
No,
independent?
this is all his independent channel.
Okay.
But I'm going to play the beginning of it because he issues like kind of another half-assed apology and then just goes into the video.
You may know me from...
Yeah.
What's going on, everyone? Thanks for clicking on the video. I know, it's been a really long time since I uploaded. But while I've been gone, I've had time to reflect on things. You see, the ups and downs of this past year have made me realize just how much I love doing this. Making videos for you right here on YouTube. It's exactly where I want to be, and I hope that you stay along for the ride because I'm going to be working hard to make this channel better than it ever was before. So with that being said, let's take a look at the best Bluetooth audio transmitter for Nintendo Switch.
So you learned nothing, I guess?
So
I really hope people aren't watching.
Here's where we get to the sad
Bluetooth
part.
is the one you can't strangle somebody with, right?
You could choke on it.
Here's where we get to the less funny part. So in conclusion, kind of, he has been uploading steadily since. And the sad part is he hasn't lost too many of those subscribers. Now, like I said, a lot of them probably just signed up for this giveaway and then never...
Yeah.
Like
Probably giving away more
watched
shit
again.
for all I know.
But that video that I just played has 75,000 views on YouTube.
Fuck. You.
I just don't like. I mean, to be honest, like even I barely know about this guy. Like, who would I be to like stumble upon him and watch a review? For
Yeah,
something
how
just
would you
trying to find
know?
something? How would you
That's
know?
a good point.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His views have been declining since, though. I mean, I think a lot of people watch that probably like we did to just hear his half-assed apology again.
Yeah.
And he's back down into like the 20,000 view range, but that's still a lot.
More than Boomstick and
Yeah.
poor guy.
Yep.
Well, maybe not now. I don't know.
And here's where we get to the thing Randy was got
Let's try
prematurely
to
excited.
bury him again.
Hold on.
Oh, you're gonna want to all over. Yeah.
So
You thought the LinkedIn thing was funny.
his infamous last act, as far as this story goes, was that
This is the last update.
he
I heard.
posted a review of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee on November 20th, 2018. In the comments of that review, somebody commented and said, "Why even try? You're going to fail. People hate you." Philip responded, "Why even try? Because I'm fighting for my life. You're telling me that if you got diagnosed with something horrible like cancer, you wouldn't try and fight it. You'd just succumb to the odds and let everything fall apart without you even giving yourself a chance. Sorry, but I'm not giving up anytime soon."
He just compared
He
himself
just
to
compared
Soya.
plagiarizing other people's creative work
And then the next
to
day
getting
he got
cancer.
cancer. No, oh, jeez.
No.
Yeah, I wish his cells would plagiarize another cancer cell. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I don't wish cancer on anybody.
I'm
But-
sure that people responded to that with some.
Unfortunately, the Reddit thread that I had found that on is a part of Kotaku in Action, so we will not be reading those comments because they're all Gamergaters. There's an interesting side note here, which I don't have in my notes, which is
Right.
that this caused this weird, like, argument in the whole Gamergate community because
I didn't know about that.
Well, because essentially, like, we won't get too far into it. Obviously, Gamergate started as a thing where it's like ethics in games journalism.
Yeah.
And then it just evolved into we hate women because they won't sleep with us. But the thing that was very interesting was that a lot of people viewed this as sort of a test for the Gamergate community, where they were just like, hey, why aren't you more mad? Like, your whole movement was about ethics in games journalism, and finally something came up for you to criticize ethics in games journalism, and you're not as vocal as you are when you hate women.
Right.
And their kind of response was just like, we've been buried by the left, but we still hate this guy. Like, it was this weird thing where they're like, we're on your side
Unite
for
the
once.
sides.
But yeah, basically, other than having to do the research for this episode, everybody's basically forgotten that this guy existed.
Good.
And luckily, our friend Boomstick Gaming, as much as I personally, as Randy said, do not really like his content, I think he needs to work on his presentation. Sorry if you're listening to this, dude. But his channel jumped.
At least we didn't steal from you.
His channel jumped. He started before this whole scandal with about 9,000, and that's increased tenfold to 90,000. He now has 90,000 subscribers.
Nice.
Yeah.
So good for him. I hope that
pretty
continues
good.
to grow.
Yeah.
Hey, if you listen to this and you think like, hey, maybe I'll check him out, go ahead and do it.
Yeah. Sure.
I'm not saying his content is bad. It's just not for me. But
At least he
the
wrote
dude's
it.
doing what he's doing,
Yeah.
and he's doing, he's doing fine. But yeah, in conclusion, as Randy said before, video game fans, as we all know, are a passionate bunch.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit too passionate.
Never.
And I think
Give one example.
there are millions of people out there who would literally kill,
Yeah.
to talk about them for a living. And this douche.
3 of them right here.
This douche took the chance that a million would kill for and squandered it for no reason.
Yeah.
Like, according to him, he cares about games, which I actually don't doubt.
Yeah.
But it's like personally, like, if IGN offered me a job writing there, I'd take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, like, I don't want it because I want to be famous or I want to be a part of IGN. I want it because I want people to care about my opinions on games.
Yeah.
So, like, why the fuck did you even want that job, dude? Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
you're not. Nobody
Dude,
cares
if you
about
get
your
a chance
opinions on
at-
games.
If you get a
because-
chance in your career, I'm not going to give up. Did Hitler give up when he got a couple allies setbacks on his beaches? No, I don't think so.
I mean, it's not like it's also too like it's IGN, which is a very glamorous position for someone who wants it. But I can't imagine it being like the highest paid job in the world. That's what you're saying. Like, it's what is he after? Like,
Yeah.
what does he want? He
He's-
just wanted an empire of Miucin fans.
I am Mucinex. The
Miucinites.
Mucinites.
Damn it, we stole that though.
We stole that.
Yeah.
That is from the Giant Bomb
That was
clip.
from the Giant Bomb clip. Mucinex or whatever.
The Mucinites is what they called them, which is a great fucking
Yeah.
name.
It is.
But yeah,
I like this last thing that you have. This is good.
writing is real hard. I am not good at it, but forming an opinion is not. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
Why? Why steal someone else's opinions? Especially, like Randy said earlier, on a game as good as Dead Cells.
Yeah.
It's not that hard to rant about a game that good.
Yeah.
Like, Dead Cells is phenomenal. You could literally just give it a 9.5 and be like, it's so cool when I swing the sword and nobody will care.
Yeah.
Because everybody's too busy
Yeah.
playing fucking Dead Cells.
Yeah. I'm sure they
This-
clicked on it, saw the score, and were like, "Oh shit, all right," and then
Yeah.
like didn't like.
This dude is a trash person. And that's all I have to say on the topic.
All right, that's gonna do it for today.
Yeah, he's trash.
Yeah, this was a good one. This was also a much. It was nice to get into to loosen up a bit after that last two-parter. And this is a more recent one too. This is probably
Yep.
our most recent story we've got. So that
Yeah.
was kind of cool looking into it.
If
Anything else comes out of this?
it should be noted that if by any chance you are listening to this later, we are recording this in January of 2019.
Yeah.
Something might come out about this. We probably won't be releasing it for a month or so.
He becomes a copycat serial killer.
Yeah. if anything comes out, I'm sure we will add an addendum like we did to our 38 Studios episode. If anything comes out after this is posted, I'm sure he still sucks. So that's my quote on the thing. This dude still sucks. I don't care what you do to redeem yourself. You don't compare ruining your own career to getting cancer. So
I agree. I think we can
Yeah.
agree on that.
but yeah, Hope you enjoyed listening, and if you haven't heard this story before, take to the internet. I'm sure people would be more than happy to shit on this dude with you.
Now our find our LinkedIn joke may actually land even harder this time.
Yeah.
We should make a LinkedIn and just copy his.
But it would just be his. Oh man, do you think anybody out there stole his work? Like, ironically,
thinking
and then
about
used to,
that,
yeah.
If the Dead Cells review they put up afterwards was just the same one.
Side note. I am a little upset with the internet that none of his quotes became copy pastas. Just gonna put that out there.
That's true.
I think that would have been a great opportunity for that to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for listening.
Yeah, this is a good one.
If you discovered this episode randomly, you can find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at HotButtonCast. You can listen and subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and all the other services that I forget. Review us on iTunes. And
talk about us on IGN.
Yeah.
Copy our episodes and make videos about them so that we can sue you and
please
get
steal
notoriety.
If you're out there, please steal our episodes so that we can post a video to it of Reddit and get way more famous. Thank you and good night.